Greetings and welcome everybody back with another video. And today I want to speak about something that has been weighing heavily on my heart. And I guess I'm just going to call this video and maybe even a thumbnail the old bait and switch. I don't know how many of you are aware of this particular practice across video games, movies, and shows. But there is a particular game that's coming out very, very soon. It's called Ninja Gaiden 4. Now, for me personally, I absolutely love the Ninja Gaiden franchise. I believe it started in 88 or 87. I mean, I was like 7 or 8 years old back then playing the classic Ninja Gaiden. It's a phenomenal action game. It's very difficult. Yeah, that particular game, that particular franchise. Now, earlier today, I did post a video about Tekken 8 and talking about the new upcoming Mary character. So I appreciate everybody that tuned into that video. Shout out and respect to all that supported and watched that video. Hopefully, this video will gain similar attention. But getting back to the point, I have seen these bait and switch tactics employed even as far back as Metal Gear Solid 2. If you remember that particular game, the Sons of Liberty, where we were led to believe that it was going to be Solid Snake, and then it ended up being changed or swapped to Raiden, whatever his fucking name is. So we've seen this, or I have seen this throughout the course of history in the video game landscape. We've also seen this in popular shows. One that comes to my mind very quickly, Loki. That was a Disney Plus show where you're led to believe that the phenomenal actor that played Loki, I can't remember his fucking name right off the top of my head, but it's like he ends up being more of a sidekick in his own show, and he's basically deferring to the chick, to the female Loki variant. Anyway, so we've seen this. Now, another game we've seen this in is this game right here, Halo 5 Guardians, if you can see that, where, we're led to believe, okay, you're going to be using Master Chief at least a fair amount of time in the game. And I can tell you, based on my memory, this particular game, I think you're using Master Chief maybe like 4 or 5 missions. And then one of the biggest ones of all, we have Gears of War 4. Now, if you notice, if you look at the marketing of this particular game, that in the middle, you have JD Phoenix, which is the son of Marcus Phoenix, right? So essentially, this game was going to be the start of the brand new trilogy of this phenomenal trailblazing franchise that was Gears of War. And this was the beginning of that particular trilogy that's actually going on right now. But I have more to say about that. But pay close particular attention to this character right here, right here. This is the true character of Gears of War currently. Not this guy, this chick. And we would later come to see that come to fruition in Gears 5, where in Gears 5, Kate Diaz is the character that is featured prominently. So I say all of this to say, and hopefully you guys are still with me, we are seeing this happening with Ninja Gaiden. And so I'm about to share my screen and just to kind of break this down for you guys. So now this particular article and all the articles that you're going to see, I'm going to have them linked in the description so that you can actually get informed and read this yourself. So I'm not going to go too much in depth in the article, but I want to showcase a little bit and pay particular attention to the date. Okay, so this article is January 28th of this year, 2025, and why Platinum Games is working on Ninja Gaiden 4. Okay, so it shows here in an interview with Fumihiko Yasuda, president of Team Ninja and producer of Ninja Gaiden 4, he shared why Platinum Games was chosen to work on this upcoming entry. Okay, so he goes into details about that. So we scroll down. So basically, this guy, he says, quote, in recent years, we have produced some titles that were big challenges for us, namely Neo 2 and Wolong Fallen Destiny. But over the years, we've also learned a lot by handling the IPs of other companies. So the idea of developing Ninja Gaiden 4 with Platinum Games, who has already produced excellent action games, was already quite attractive. That said, we are deeply involved in the development of the game. I want you to 1000% fuck everything else I said. Pay attention to this. I even highlighted. He says, we are deeply involved in the development of the game. That is what lock that into your memory banks right now. Okay, so he says this includes Masakazu Hirayama, who is the director of Wolong Fallen Dynasty, excuse me. All right. Now, like I said, you can look at these articles and read them at your own leisure, but I'm going to now move on to the next article. Now, mind you, again, this is January 28th. Right? January 28th of 2025. Recall what he just said. He just said that we are deeply involved in the development of the game. Okay? Keep that in mind. I'm really prefacing this because now you're going to see what has been recently found out in this article here. Now, this article done by The Gamer, we have found that the Ninja Gaiden 4 development was done entirely by Platinum Games. Okay, now look at the article, the date here. This is September 7th, literally a day after my birthday, because my birthday is September 6th. Now, to read this a bit, as most of us predicted from the moment we first saw Ninja Gaiden 4, it turns out that Platinum Games is basically the main developer, with Team Ninja acting as advisors. To be perfectly honest with everybody, I don't even think they were really doing that much advising. For the past decade and a bit, Ninja Gaiden fans have been begging Team Ninja to finally return to the series and give us a game that's so good it makes us forget about the pre-Razor's Edge version of Ninja Gaiden 3. I did not play that particular version, but I have heard that in that game, I heard that that's where they had Ryu have only one weapon, if I'm not mistaken, which, if that is the case, then history is repeating itself, because in Ninja Gaiden 4, at launch, Ryu has one fucking weapon. Anyway, let's continue. Earlier this year, that wish was seemingly granted when Ninja Gaiden 4 was revealed out of nowhere, like an RKO. Now, surprisingly, though, Ninja Gaiden 4 doesn't just come from Team Ninja, as it's actually a collaboration with Platinum Games, as well as being funded by Xbox. Since that was confirmed, fans have wondered how the project was split up, with many believing that Ryu's sections were handled by Team Ninja and Yakumo was all Platinum Games. Now, that would make sense, because if it's a collaboration and this is primarily your IP being Team Ninja, then it would make sense, right? If you, Team Ninja, are making the sections where you are focusing on your main character, the protagonist of Ninja Gaiden since fucking 1987 or 88, and then the new guys, the Platinum Games, the developer of the failed and canceled Scalebound game. I know a lot of people don't remember that, and still probably blame Microsoft for their fucking failure, their being Platinum Games, but that's neither here nor there. So you would think that Yakumo, that emo-looking character, was going to be focused on by Platinum Games. Nah, not at all. So yeah, right? The main development was done entirely by Platinum Games. As if that wasn't already clear from Yakumo. I'm glad they actually framed it like that. So, as pointed out by Redditor Lunith22, this isn't quite the case. Eurogamer recently had the chance to chat with Ninja Gaiden 4's producers, blah, 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 who revealed exactly what each team provided for the game. Yeah. So when I previewed Ninja Gaiden 4, I noticed that the intro credits specifically say that it's based on a concept by Team Ninja, but developed by Platinum. So what I want to, with that being said, and what I want everybody here to understand is that this is a clear example of the bait and switch. Now, if you notice in the marketing, Ryu is featured prominently on the box art, on the cover art. This is to get you, the consumer, a bit of nostalgia bait to get us to buy the game. But then we learn potentially this. So I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to go to my X. Now, I reposted this, but I don't know how accurate this is. So as you're seeing right now on screen, this is my Twitter that you're seeing. This particular person, I'm not following this gentleman, but this is what he says. We're going to select this tweet. He says, hey, look, spoilers. Ryu is playable for about as much as Ayane in Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge, 10 to 15%. Yakumo ends up beating Ryu, is now a master ninja, and gets the Dark Dragon Blade. Yakumo also gets Gleam form, apparently. They really want us to care about this loser. Game seems fun, though. So we're going to go back to what I had to say. And I'm saying, look, I'm seeing this float around a bit and I can't 100% confirm this. However, if it is true, I am not the least bit surprised. And I think it's time for me to speak on this because this scenario has been going on for a while. And I call it the old bait and switch. Stay tuned. And that is exactly what I'm doing in this particular video, because much like how we have seen this, right? Just using this as an example, you're led to believe that you are using this character. Now, it is true, you are using JD Phoenix, but to anybody that played Gears of War 4, to anybody that's played this game, you will notice that the person that is being more serious, that is showing more strength, showing more common sense, and actually kind of moving the plot along largely is this character, Kate Diaz, who is really the character that the Gears franchise wanted to push from the very beginning with this new trilogy. And do you find it odd? And I'm going to circle back around to Ninja Gaiden 4. Do you not find it odd? And let me know, because I'm actually going to be premiering this. So hopefully whoever is watching this live can actually respond in either the comments or during this premiere. When have you ever seen a trilogy that is currently going on, as it is with Gears of War, where in the trilogy, you are now going to bring out a game that is a prequel that happens before the original trilogy called Gears of War E-Day, which is set to release probably sometime next year. But you do it in between Gears 5 and Gears 6, 6 being the end of your new trilogy. So this is my theory. My theory is this, is that the coalition, the people that develop Gears of War, they realized that from a financial standpoint, the game essentially flopped because people did not accept the Kate Diaz character as being the de facto main protagonist. And as a result of that backlash, that is when they decided to finally bring out the Gears of War E-Day, which goes back before Gears of War 1 to prominently showcase Marcus Phoenix and Dominic Santiago, two of the characters that actually made Gears of War what it is today. So I say all of that again to say that when I look at the whole Ninja Gaiden 4 situation, I'm seeing the same thing. Just like what that guy had to say in his tweet, which I cannot confirm or deny because I haven't played the game yet. However, if that is the case, this is definitely not a surprise to me. If, in fact, if you look at the Yakumo character in general, the way they're positioning this character, at launch, they're giving Yakumo four weapons, but yet and still they're giving Ryu one weapon. I find that very odd. And then they try to explain it away that, oh, well, Ryu has Ninpo, he has the magic, and he has his gleam form. I guess he turns like, I don't know, maybe he's like in the equivalent of Tekken 8 Heat or something. I don't fucking know. So that brings us to the last bit of news, or should I say the article, which is this one here. So this is what is kind of more recent. This was released October 6th. And so this is the upcoming DLC that is set to be released on 2026. And as you can see, this particular DLC is going to be set after the events of Ninja Gaiden, the main story, Ninja Gaiden 4. And it's going to have both Yakumo and Ryu have an additional weapon. To my understanding, it's only going to be one weapon apiece. Now, if we are really looking at this screenshot, I want people in the comment section and I want people that is watching this live to tell me right fucking now, honestly, which weapon looks cooler? Which of the two characters here looks like they made out great, and which one had the shit end of the stick? Honestly, I don't feel that there's a right or wrong answer here. I just like to hear people's opinion, because if you want my opinion, I feel that Ryu right here got the shit end of the stick. For people that have played this franchise, especially the ones that's on Xbox, we are well aware of the vast array of weaponry that Ryu can wield in those games. And I've seen the lunar spear. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think even Ryu had a scythe, right? He's had the bow and arrow. He's had nunchucks, which I think they call it the Vogurian flail or something like that. So Ryu has had many different weapons, some of which I probably even forgot. But you give Ryu pincers? That's what this weapon is called, a fucking pincer. But you give Yakumo a scythe where the blade is red. This looks far more cooler, in my opinion. But then again, since we now know that this is a Platinum Games developed game, and if the words of this gentleman is accurate, everything that this person has said, this does not surprise me that Platinum Games is essentially making their own game, but they just have Ryu as a part of it to help sell it. Because if you were to take Ryu out of this game, if we were to just fucking delete, like Thanos snap Ryu out of this picture, and you were to call this a different game, maybe you can call this I don't know, Yakumo's Vengeance or some shit like that, nobody would know. But they did not want to do that because they're doing this collaboration with Team Ninja. And again, as I have just shown, this was not really a collaborative effort in the true sense. This was just Team Ninja saying, hey, we're going to allow you to use the Ninja Gaiden license and our character, and you go and create this game. But what they told us initially was it was complete bullshit. So now we're learning that this game is a Platinum Games game, essentially. So this is why it makes all the sense in the world why they basically gave Ryu Hayabusa the shit end of the stick by only giving him one weapon. Because if you really wanted to keep that same energy, you could have just gave Yakumo also one weapon and basically move onward with the fact that Yakumo is this new character. He has new moves and he has a new story. So you could have sold us on the novelty of him just being this new character. But no, you did not just do that. You also made him more appealing to use in game by giving him 4 fucking weapons at launch. And then you give Ryu the shit end of the stick, who has been the protagonist and the only reason why people even give a damn about Ninja Gaiden in the first place. You give him 1 weapon. I find that to be very, very off-putting and very telling now that we have all of the information, because it is clear to me that Platinum Games wanted to pretty much sideline, or not necessarily sideline. They wanted Ryu, like, he's there. Ryu is there, but he's like in the background. It's like you can use him here and there, right? You can fuck around with him, but come check out our character, because our character is cool. Our character is new. Our character has 4 weapons, with a 5th on the way with DLC. Yeah, we'll give you a DLC weapon. We'll give him, let's give him the fucking pincers. Let's give him little fucking fake ass Wolverine claws. Like, so I don't know if anybody else sees it this way, but that's how I see it. That's how I see it. And like I said at the outset, I have been seeing this done in the video game industry, in the television and movie industry for many, many years. This is what you call the old bait and switch, where you're enticing people utilizing an IP, an intellectual property, something that is as famous as Ninja Gaiden, and you're bringing those people, those fans, which is highly numerous. So we're expecting to have a Ryu Hayabusa experience, but we're basically playing this other emo looking Yakumo character. That is, from what this guy says, he not only beats Ryu, but he also gets the fucking the Dragon Blade, the Dark Dragon Blade. So I just find this very, very, very interesting, and I would love to hear you guys take on it. And then there's something else I want to play, and I've always found this hilarious to me, and I just want to let me just turn on my headphones because I want to hear this, and I want you guys to enjoy this with me. It's something that Kate Diaz says, and anybody that's played Gears of War 5 would know this. So let me just go over to that. I gotta play this. I love this part right here.
I'm sorry. Thanks, JD.
All right, let me advance it forward a little bit.
What?
So, like I said, going back to the whole bait and switch, we're led to believe that this is the new guy that's going to be the protagonist. Why? Because he is the son of Marcus Phoenix. And it's just like I said, this is Gears of War is just another example of the bait and switch that I am kind of linking to the whole Ninja Gaiden aspect. But let me move forward a little bit more. Let me move forward, right?
Pull up.
I need help.
There's a place up north. I think we can find you answers there.
No. Absolutely not. We have orders.
You'll go with me.
Here we go.
Damn it, both of you, listen.
I'll go with her. Look, if you're missing, Jen will notice.
Okay. I'll push Jack the coordinates.
No, Corporal, you are coming back to New Afira. That is a direct order.
Well, Captain. Screw your order. This isn't about you. It's about me.
Right there. Right there. You know what? Let me play that part again, because we need to hear this again.
That is a direct order.
Well, Captain. Screw your order. This isn't about you. It's about me.
Now, when I look at that, right? You can apply that to Ninja Gaiden, because you're thinking you're going to be using Ryu, right? And then you got Yakumo coming up and saying, I mean, I'm just making this up, but it kind of ties in where it's like, screw you. This isn't about you. This isn't about you, Ryu. This is about me, Yakumo. And they're not saying it directly, but they're kind of saying it through their actions. Where when you look at what Ninja Gaiden is, even if I were to like, let's look at the Ninja Gaiden real quick, right? Let's look at Ninja Gaiden 4, right? Ninja Gaiden 4 box art. Okay, I think it's this, right? Okay, now if you look at this, right? If you're seeing this on, is my OBS working right? Good, good. Okay, if you look at this, look who is featured prominently. You have Ryu Hayabusa in the fucking shot, and then little over here you have Yakumo, the new guy. Where have we seen this type of shot before? I'll show you again. Gears of War 4. This right here is essentially Ryu, right? This is Ryu. But this over here, this chick is essentially Yakumo in a sense. So you're thinking, yeah, we're going to be featuring this guy because he's the son of Marcus Phoenix. He's the guy that put us on the map. But they're sowing the seeds to basically switch and have her be the lead for the most part. Now, the difference here with Ninja Gaiden is that you can play both alternatively, whereas in this game, it was more so like we're setting the stage to where in Gears 5, you're going to be using the Kate character. Because that's where it's at now. And because it has flopped commercially, I'm not going to speak to the multiplayer of Gears because I'm not on that type of time. But from a narration and storyline wise, many Gears fans did not like that change of direction. They fucking didn't. So it didn't surprise me and I apologize for repeating the point that now they're deciding to come out with Gears of War E-Day. Ask yourself this, as a Gears fan, and even if you're unfamiliar with Gears, let me just say before Gears of War 1, two prominent events happened. You had something called the Pendulum Wars and you had something called E-Day. E-Day is essentially what they're coming out with in 2026 or 2027. And they're putting that out in the middle of Gears 5 and Gears 6 to try to win back the audience. And I bet your ass this might be something similar that will happen with Ninja Gaiden because, look, I don't know if Ninja Gaiden 4 as it is right now, if this is just going to be a one-off. I mean, we have seen that they're going to be coming out with a DLC, and they said that the events take place after the events of the main game. So I don't know if Ninja Gaiden 5 comes around, if Ryu is going to, one, be around, or if he's going to be around in any meaningful capacity. Because if what this guy had to say, this particular guy here on Twitter, it definitely sounds to me like they're really trying to quietly push Ryu out the door. And this is what I see. So I don't know what you guys think about that. Even with all of this being said, I'm still going to play it. Why? Because it's part of my Game Pass membership. So I will be streaming the game and I will be finding out myself. So if anything, let me know what your thoughts are. And if you're not currently subscribed, hopefully I have earned your subscription. And also, if you can, subscribe or not subscribe. Well, actually, yes, do subscribe. But also, join one of the channel memberships. I'm going to at least show that by swapping over to my dummy account here. Basically, all you have to do is just join the channel utilizing this join button right here. So again, subscribe, right? And then ring the notification bell. So anytime I go live, anytime I submit a video, you guys will be notified, as well as hit that join button. When you hit the join button, basically we have all of this. I have a little video. I might update this video. And then we got, just these offerings right here. I think this is pretty fair. And I'm trying to grow and build this audience. So hopefully over the course of time, with this video. Hopefully I've earned both your subscription and you joining one of these memberships. But if anything, with that being said, let me get up out of here. I'm going to be premiering this video for everybody to watch live. And with that, stay tuned for the next one. I do have this desire to speak more about what's going on with Microsoft. I'm seeing articles of apparently stores are pulling Xbox hardware from their shelves. People are still up in arms over a $10 fucking increase to a Game Pass, something that gives you access to 470 plus games that does not lock you into. It's ridiculous. Anyway, stay tuned and thanks for watching. Peace out.